Kestrel saw the white page. She felt the ache in her lungs, saw the black branches spreading, and thought this was what her grief felt like, digging roots and twigs into her body. She had had a mother, and that mother was gone. Then she had had another mother, and that one was gone too. Daylight came and went and continued without Kestrel being truly aware that time was passing. She pushed away food that slaves brought her. She refused to read letters. She couldn't even think of playing the piano, for it was Anai who had encouraged her to keep practicing after her mother's death. She heard the memory of Anai saying what a pretty melody that was, and could Kestrel play it again. That memory became a refrain of its own, echoing, diminishing, returning. And then Kestrel saw again the skin and bone of Anai's face, the coughed up blood, and knew that she was to blame, and she should have insisted on a doctor earlier, and now Anai was dead. It was late afternoon, and she was sitting alone in her breakfast room, blankly staring out at a window at bad weather, when she heard rapid, fierce footfalls striding toward her. "Stop crying." Aaron's tone was brutal. Kestrel lifted fingertips to her cheek. They came away wet. "You shouldn't be here," she said, her voice hoarse. The breakfast room was one into which men were not allowed. "I don't care." He tugged Kestrel to her feet, and the shock of it forced her gaze to his. The blacks of his eyes were blown wide with feeling, with anger. "Stop it," he said. "Stop pretending to mourn someone who wasn't your blood." His hand was iron around her wrist. She pulled free, the cruelty of what he had said bringing fresh tears to her eyes. "I loved her," Kestrel whispered. "You loved her because she did anything you wanted." "That's not true." "She didn't love you. She could never love you. Where is her real family, Kestrel?" She didn't know. She had been afraid to ask.